We were very excited and waited with bated breath when we were told that the president would be making his budget presentation at the National Assembly, his very first budget as the commander-in-chief since he was sworn into office. Many Nigerians, including me, couldn't wait to see how the appropriation in the budget would meet our expectation and shed, of course, more light on the general theme of Mr. President's administration, which is the renewed hope for Nigerians. I was on a radio program that same day, and one of the discussants tried to rationalize why the president, themed his budget as renewed hope, that the current situation in the country was indeed in a state of hopelessness, and the president was coming in to, in fact, give Nigerians hope, and the fact that he was telling Nigerians, I am your Messiah, I have come to, renew your hope.
The state capital. All right, gentlemen, Chinese was accusing me of not allowing to land. All right, Chinese, over to you. Land.
Whenever you're mentioning my name, I just Googled the different pronunciations that you apply to my name.
I use this as my own formation. Instead of Chinese, I call it Chinese. But not the Chinese.
That's fine.
Because ambassador is also giggling, thinking that the typical Chinese language I'm calling. No, Chinese.
That's fine. Yeah, what I was saying that would bring me, although that thought that I was about to share, they say you can't step into a running water even twice. And so I'm not sure I can step into that thought again. But then let me just say something. All these things brings me to the president's budget when he said that his budget of renewed hope. Because all these things we are talking about is just renewed hope for Nigerians. The Arise agenda is renewed hope for Akwa Ibomites. Am I correct?
In order.
So everything is about giving Nigerians new hope so how their life will be better this time.
The renewed hope is that of President Bola Tinubu.
Yes, I know. I'm just
say Arise agenda. I don't think they are the same.
No, what I mean the general goal. The general goal, the objective of both.
No, like I renew hope, according to President Bola Tinubu, is that hope has already died. Let us renew it. But
Arise agenda, it means you were unable to rise.
No. Have you forgotten that we just came out of the Dakada agenda?
So the point I'm making, these are just nomenclatures, like I mentioned to you. The overall objective of all these names, tax, is just to better the lots of Nigerians or Akwa Ibomite. That's all I'm saying.
And that the present situation in the country is that of hopelessness, and the president has indeed come to give Nigerians hope. A situation, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, a situation where we have been inundated with reports about Nigerians, committing suicide here and there, where their purchasing power has indeed completely been wiped out. So they've decided to, take themselves out because they just cannot, take it anymore. I don't believe that the solution to this problem is you committing suicide. I don't, in fact, believe in that. So I would want to ask you, have a rethink before you pull that plug. Even though the president has come out to tell us that, I know that the situation is hopeless and I'm here to give you hope. So the foundation for hardship was already laid on day one of his presidency when he made that pronouncement that fuel subsidy was gone and gone for good. With no plan put in place to ameliorate the sufferings brought in by these policy pronouncements, because one would have thought before the policies pronouncements were made, things would already have been put in place to cushion the harsh effect of these policies, because the policies could be well intended, but of course you should have thought of the hardship that will of course come up as a result of such policy pronouncement, and maybe the reality is what is staring us in the face today. They know that Nigerians are having the toughest time of their lives. That explains why the vice president, for the first time, a senior member of government is, coming out to accept that Nigerians are indeed, the poor Nigerians are indeed groaning in pains, occasioned by most of these policies. And he came out to say that Nigerians are very angry with the, political class. No, if you know that Nigerians are really, really angry with the political elites, in this country. So why haven't you guys put things in place to show so that you empathize with the citizens? Instead, we're seeing the opposite. But before I go into the opposite, what we are seeing, because the vice president is coming out to say that, in fact, poor Nigerians are indeed very upset, very angry with, the political class, because the political class seem to be having an ambivalence, some form of ambivalent behavior, showing that this other part of the country is saying that things are so poor, and they, on the other side, are having the best time of their lives. So I'll probably come back here. I'll come back after this. And so for the vice president to, in fact, be aware of this, why are these politicians spending the country's money as if we have too much of this money? Why the profligacy? That's the question. Why do they go around spending this money as if the world is going to end now? Because when you're out, nobody takes money to heaven or hell. The way they spend this money, how can our hope, in fact, be renewed when politicians have taken to spending spree? See the way they're spending money. You see, I don't even want to talk about what happened last weekend when the Senate president had a grand 61st birthday celebration in the midst of lack.
The Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
For my good people of Akwa Ibom and Nigeria, for me this is a surprise homecoming. To say that I'm happy is just an understatement. We are gathered today since morning, thousands and thousands of people, to mark another year in the journey of life of God's will upon Akwa Ibom.
In the midst of lack, he even went to his constituency. The 21st. What am I saying? Did I say 21st? 61st birthday. And I asked, is that even a milestone? I heard we are used to 50th birthday, 60th birthday, 70th birthday, 80th birthday celebration. I have never heard 61st birthday. When he turned 60, did he at least were in this country? I didn't hear any pop and pageantry in terms of the Senate president. Okay, then he wasn't a Senate president, so there was no need for such fanfare. So now he's the Senate president, so he has to show us as a Senate president when the people, his constituents, are indeed having the hardest time of their lives. He came to showcase that 61st birthday. So it tells you that these politicians are so uncaring and insensitive towards what ordinary Nigerians who voted them into that office are going through. So if the vice president is coming out to tell us that, then you guys should show that you empathize with the poor Nigerians, as you put it. You empathize with them, not shoving our wealth in our faces. You want the citizens to tighten their belts, but you have refused to cut the cost of governance, this bloated cost of governance of running this so-called presidential system of government. that seems to be taking so much from the people and putting such money into the private pockets of these politicians. Budget of Renew Hope. How can budget of Renew Hope when you are allocating 10 billion naira, for the renovation of the office of the chief of staff? And I asked, in the 2023 president and as a presidential supplementary budget of 2023, 2.5 billion naira was already, has been expended for the renovation of the residence of the, okay, that's for the residence of the vice president. Okay, this is for the chief of staff. But even at that, 10 billion naira for the renovation of the official residence of the chief of staff. Even though the chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, has come out to debunk this, saying that is not true, but of course, in this country, there is no smoke without fire. In every rumor, there's an element of truth. So you can see the profligacy of these politicians, spending money as if money is going to run out of fashion. So these are the things most Nigerians are not happy. So the managers of this economy don't really care about the poor Nigerians. The vice president is just coming out to say that. And that's why most Nigerians see this budget as because they see that the politicians have indeed usurped their common wealth. It's a situation where the chief of staff, for goodness sake, would be using 10 billion naira for the renovation of his office. And I mean, we saw what happened, what played out on the floor of the Senate when the Minister for Trade and Investments, I think that's Doris, what's the other name? I don't know. Okay, just went to defend her budget, and an item in the budget shall already be proposed. More than $1 billion naira for Geneva trip. The senator of the Oshomole, the former Edo State governor, and then president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, said, "Madam, you can't put this item. I mean, why are you going to Geneva? Proposing $1 billion naira to go to Geneva for what? You get your experts within your office and fix whatever thing you want to fix." It tells you that these guys are not tightening their belts. They are not employing the austerity measures that they want Nigerians to employ because they have refused to cut down on the cost of governance. It's still business as usual. It's as if there's so much money, like in the 70s when the former head of state then, General Gowon, said that the problem with Nigeria then was not money, but how to spend the money. So these guys are busy spending money, and then they'll come down to Nigerians and tell Nigerians, tighten your belts, sacrifice. Are they sacrificing? They are not sacrificing. They're not sacrificing. But they want you to sacrifice.
All right. Well, let me come back to Mr. Shinize at this point. You said you really want to talk about the budget.
Yes, the budget, because like I said, the year should be ending with a good note. And then, although we always say that budget is just maybe a mere financial statement of government's intention, but at least based on the budget, we should be able to use it to plan, because they say if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. So we need an economic tool of this nature to be able to project that. Just like my discussant here said, that budget, it does not translate to maybe the food on the table for the ordinary Nigerians. Of course, we know that ordinary Nigerians don't. When I use the word ordinary Nigerians, I just remember what happened on the floor of the National Assembly when the president came to present the budget to the National Assembly, and he said the budget is actually for ordinary Nigerians, which he has in mind to better their lot this time. And some opposition leaders took that out of context, and then they start making a mountain out of a molehill, and that why should
is that what you call it?
Yeah, no, not me.
No, I mean that's what they say. Not me. I'm just airing their view, and then it's like they took that out of context, and I see it as that why would the president call Nigerians ordinary Nigerians? That why? I mean that's a serious disrespect to the Nigerian people that, of course, gave him the mandate, who elected him, and he's coming down here to say the budget is for ordinary Nigerians. But now, let me just chip that, because I'm also saying ordinary Nigerians. I'm referring to the generality of the people, the masses. That's my own reference of ordinary Nigerian that I'm referring to. And then another thing about the budget that has also caught my attention is the fact that the president talked about job creation, talked about macroeconomic stability, also talked about poverty reduction.
Are these not things we've heard in the past? How do you think this time around things will be different? We've seen the economists coming to share their own thoughts on this. They say, well, the budget looks very ambitious, okay? But the challenge we usually have when we see ambitious budget like this is implementation. How do you think this time around will be different from what we've seen in the past?
Yes, that's what most people are worried about. Like every year they come and they give us all this robust budget, and then at the end of the day, it doesn't really trickle down to some measurable achievables. So that's the concern. But so how is the president going to get the revenue forecast to fund the budget of about 18.32 trillion naira, when the former CBN governor has come out to say that oil cannot grow the economy? In fact, can't even grow the GDP, can never make us middle income country. And Mr. President is tying appropriations to the oil revenue, which he pegged at 1.78 million barrels per day production. And interestingly, OPEC has even come out to cut down the oil production quota for Nigeria to 1.65 million barrels per day production. So how can you get the needed revenue to fix your budget? To fix unemployment, which stands at 45%, to fix the multi-dimensional poverty level where over 100 million of your citizens are below the poverty line. How do you fix the poor infrastructure? How do you, again, fix insecurity, even though the huge security allocation does not add up to the security mathematics, as I keep saying? How do you fix the economy when giant manufacturing brands like P&G, Unilever, GSK are closing down their businesses in Nigeria and taking them to the neighboring African countries? So how will you fund your budget of 27.5 trillion naira, which you themed budget of Renew Hope? These are questions that the president will have to respond to.
How are we going to use this to translate to revenue that can fund this stupendous lifestyle of these politicians? Is a sad statistics. I don't even want to go all that. So we'll probably end it for today, and this will be all for today. Thank you for always finding the time to watch my video. If you like the content of this video, please give it a thumbs up, strike on that notification bell so that you get to be notified whenever I upload a content like this. Leave your comment down below, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Stay awesome. See you pretty soon. Peace as always. Out.